Is this mic on?
This mic is on.
No, it's mic on.
That
was a dad joke,
but it was funny though.
Thanks very much. I really appreciate it. So what's happening today then?
Well, the Wicus has got an exercise.
So I'm going to get you to do an exercise, and so it pertains to business. So in any business that you start off with, okay. So for the people who are listening, Johnny and Michael has got a piece of paper in front of them. They're going to write down 9 words. You do these 9 words in your business, and then they're going to tear their paper. So you're going to hear some tearing, and then we'll elaborate from it. So the first word you have is thinker.
Big writing.
Yeah, because you're going to have to tear the papers. Remember what I said to you. You're going to have to tear them and create 9 pieces of paper, okay?
So tear it right now?
Not yet.
Right.
But you have to write all the words.
I like your thinking.
Hey!
Next word, doer.
Is that actually a word?
Just like stupid.
Finder.
Johnny's a finder because he found the paper.
I found the paper, yes.
Hunter.
Oh, the hunter.
This is great listening.
Farmer. Organiser.
Oh, they're getting bigger.
That's not correct. I think I spell that.
Analyst. Checker. Last one, processor.
Okay.
So let's just check. Is that 9 words?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
There we go. Right. So now tear them. So did you have 9 pieces of paper with those words in it?
I'm going to be
Just talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, no. So while we're listening to the tearing of the paper, for our listeners, these 9 words that I've just given to Michael and Johnny, these are 9 things that you do in your business when you start your business, but it's more prevalent when you start growing and scaling your business. And it will become evident now why these words are important.
Obviously, you should be doing this at home.
Please be, if you're using scissors, please be accompanied by an adult.
I thought it would be fun to just get you guys to do it just off the cuff, just to tear it. I like how Johnny just tears it. He just goes for it. But Michael is so precise.
He's a carpenter.
He just to get them right.
You know what? I believe in time's money, eh?
No. But just watch. I'm just watching Michael's process. It's just like...
This is what's happening. He's analysing this right now.
No analysing, guys. I would never do that to you.
Look at that. I'll fold that paper up really, really neatly now.
Oh, that is absolutely lovely. Right, so have you got... well, we'll wait for Michael. He's a little bit slow. No. I don't want you to feel rushed or anything about it.
Oh, there's no chance of that happening.
So, I'm understanding some of those words already.
Just remember, I've given you no context to it, so I've just given you words, okay?
Okay.
Now, what I need you to do is you can either build a process flow. So a process flow is step 1.
Yep.
So, but it needs to be step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5, step 6, 7, 8, 9. And then from step 9, you go back into step 1. Or you can build it hierarchically from the top to the bottom. And some of them could be next to one another in the order that you think you should be doing it in your business. So this is really an episode you should be watching on YouTube.
Is it?
Is it? Right.
So just to see the concentration on your faces. And just to tell you, there is a right way and there's a wrong way. So the pressure is on.
Right, that's 3 of them done. Okay, we're good. Let's get rid of the mash.
Okay, so what do you... So Johnny, are you going to build process or are you going to build hierarchical? Which one are you going to build?
This is basically trying to establish the structure of what you think is more important.
Well, yeah.
Do we have music in the background? Give us a song. Edgy fall, I'll always love you.
If I remember.
Oh. Do not put the robot voice on and keep it on. This is really interesting. So...
Okay, so... Yeah, so...
Oh, no, you go.
No. So both of you need to just put it together. And then you'll talk me through your thought processes, and then we'll have a little bit of a discussion around it.
This is the part where I wasn't very good at school.
No.
Okay.
Which part were you not very good at?
Most of it. most of it. I turned up. I had more banter on me. I liked talking. I did like doing that.
Look, don't just.
I know what you say. You said stop copying them. But that's what I did in physics and chemistry.
So Michael has built hierarchical. Johnny's okay.
So
Wait. Johnny, are you finished?
No, I'm still not finished. I'm still trying to process
No,
this.
let him process first, Michael. You can't just do that.
there we are.
You're done. You think you've got it right?
Well,
Says,
we'll find out soon enough.
analyst.
I don't think there's really a right or wrong.
Yeah, you're right. There is no right or wrong. The purpose of the exercise is there is no right or wrong, but there is a certain order in which things happen.
Okay. We should have some music. Eh? What else have we got? There we go.
Right, me done.
Way.
Right.
Surely a round of applause there.
Thank you. I like to thank my mother, my father, my sister, my brother. Everyone's got to be an AKA lover.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I was
Right,
first,
I was
because I was
first.
ready first. No, you took too
No,
long.
I was born ready
Right,
though.
who-
Right, thinker first.
First, yeah.
Got to
Okay.
have the ideas.
And then
Then as a doer, there's no point having ideas and doing nothing with them. So then there's a finder, and then a hunter. So you've found and you've hunted, and then you've organised. So you've got organiser, and then processor, and then checker, farmer, analyst.
okay. Johnny, go with your one.
Right, you ready for this? So you need the thinker and the processor at the same time because the thinker and the process goes together.
Okay.
Then you need the analyst and the organiser to structure it. Then the three people is your sales. So you need the doer, the go-getter. You need the hunter, who's quick, fast. You need the farmer, farming out to all, slow, long game. And you need the finder. They're all your sales force. And then you need the checker.
Okay.
Just make sure this is actually the right stuff that we want.
Okay.
And then it's a process thinker back to the start again. I'm right, you're wrong. I'm
Right,
big.
so
You're checking everything at the end after all of it.
Yeah, because it's a process first. You can process it and you can check it. I can understand that, but I'm thinking about it a different way.
yeah, so there's no right or wrong. Build me an organogram. So
I come with what?
so build me a chart where do they fit in your organization. So I'm going to give you the first one. At the top is the thinker.
Yeah.
Always at the top is the thinker. How do the rest relate to the thinker? So where do they sit?
Well, I'm thinking I had that in order of that anyway. I would put-
Right, okay, but I know what you've just done there to me. I know what you've just done.
What have I done?
You've basically said the same thing in a different way to analyse what you've done, but you've just said it in a different way.
Well, I've kept mine pretty much the same.
I've changed mine. So I'm going first.
You go first.
So thinker at the top, but you still have your analyst and organiser, then the processor, and then the checker.
Who does the processor and the checker report to the analyst or to the organizer?
Well, I'm thinking about this in a different way.
Okay.
So I'm thinking you've got a thinker in the business, right? So let's say it's a person, and then you've got the analyst that's going to think about the thinker, what they've came up with, and the organizer. They work hand in hand.
Okay.
The processor will be the person that
You should have done it because he's changing it around now.
the processor checks the process to make sure that would actually work.
Okay.
And then the processor, then the checker checks all of above to see if that constitutes a good model. And then you got your sales team, your hunter, doer, farmer, finder.
Okay.
They're all sales forces in my opinion.
No.
Long game, the go-getter, the short game, and the guy who finds it.
Right.
They're all sales in my opinion.
Michael.
So, I've got thinker still at the top. Got that one dead right. Then I've got my doer and my organiser
Yeah.
and my processor underneath that. And then I've got finder, hunter, and then checker and analyst, and then farmer.
Okay.
So I get what you mean, but you've just got a different meaning to that word.
You've
because
just
the
got
word-
nah.
It's like a picture speaks a thousand words.
You have to jump to the big camera. I'm gonna build yours in the process. I'm gonna build yours in that. Don't say anything, okay?
Okay, don't cheat,
And don't
Michael.
you look here.
Oh,
Yeah, you do
Miss,
that.
he's cheating.
thing is, but probably
Miss, he's cheating. Stop looking, Michael.
it's too late.
And then who's auditing Wicus just to say that he's right?
There's no right.
There's no
There's
right.
no right. That's why there's not just one book.
There is no right or wrong. Therefore, there's no book. Okay, everyone's this way around. Just hold on to there. Michael, let me show you yours.
So,
For the people who are listening to this on Spotify or Apple, whatever you call it, you'll not have a clue. Wicus has basically came over to me and tickled my knee. So there's definitely a sexual harassment claim here.
Oh, only.
So he's put all the names in a big circle, and he's doing it differently for Michael.
as long as I can't read my writing.
Oh, I can read all your writings. Okay, so let me take Johnny through his process flow. Okay, so you're absolutely right. Right in the beginning, you come up with all the great ideas. All the great ideas are in your head, yeah?
Remember, the mic has to pick you up.
That's also true. So, let me jump back. So, all the great ideas jumps into your head. You come up with all these great ideas, all right? So let's just say you come up with 5 different ideas on how to go launch a new product. All those new ideas are sitting in your head, yeah?
Yeah.
Next thing you need to do is you need to go find those opportunities, okay? Find the new opportunities. So you go and you go, okay, well, I'm going to find this opportunity in the high street of Dunfermline. That's a hunter because you're going to be knocking on the doors. But once you've brought that opportunity into your business, you need to develop that client. That's the farmer, developing the client relationship, getting him on board, getting him to spend more with you. So once you've brought the client on board, you need to start delivering. But you need to be organized. That's where the organizer steps in. The organizer gets in, he starts getting involved, but then you also need the processor because there's some certain processes that you start getting there. And then there's the doer, the guy that actually does the work. Then you've got the checker to make sure that everything is the way it should be done. And then there's the analyst. The analyst creates the data. And the data around that is, it tells you, did the finder find the right opportunities? What is the success rate? Is the hunter successful? Does the farmer get better client lifetime value? Is the organizer as efficient as he should be? Is our processes making us better or worse? What is our quality like in the checker? And is the doers doing everything that they're doing? Okay? Process flow. You do all those 9 things in your business.
That's basically what I did.
No. Yes, you did. Michael's is in the other ideas in the form of an organogram. At the top is the thinker. He is the managing director, CEO. If you look at to the left, there's the finder. That is called marketing. Then you have the hunter and the farmer. They are sales. Then you've got the organizer, the processor, and the doer. They are operations. Then you've got the analyst and the checker. They are finance. So in any business, you need those 4 pillars. So sales and marketing can be one, and people sit above all of those things. Okay, but when you start your business, you do all 9 things. Right? So now you're starting to grow and scale your business. All right. You need to start, that's how you start with these words. So other words for finder becomes marketing executive, sales executive for hunter, customer relationship manager for farmer, operations lead for organizer, okay, quality control manager for checker, finance manager, finance lead, bookkeeper for finance. That's the next step in the evolution. Okay?
Right, okay, well, yeah.
So you need to find those words, and then what you do is you build this structure. Now, what I just said to you, no 2 structures are the same, but this is your basic that you start with. Now you start looking at your business. Your business might not necessarily need a hunter, okay? You might be better at farming, long-term relationships. So you don't need a hunter, so you take the hunter out the equation. And then what you do is you start building your organization like that. Because let me show you on Michael's one. Michael, take away the thinker.
He's gone.
Okay, what happens to that business?
Well, it struggles.
It won't struggle. Because the finder will still find the business.
Depends how old it is.
Doesn't matter.
So is this based on crisis management?
It's any organization. If the finder is if the thinker is both the finder and the hunter, take the finder and the hunter away, as well, because if they're the same person, what happens to that business?
I'm not going to answer because I got it wrong the last time.
so the business won't continue to grow. It'll stay the same, okay, but it'll start stagnating, and over time it'll decline. The thinker in any organization, Tim Cook, CEO of Apple, do you think he knows how to put an Apple iPhone together?
No, not at all.
Do you think he knows how the iOS works?
A little bit, to an extent, but he's not really interested in
No idea. What's his job?
He's a
It's to
thinker.
create the thinker, the innovator.
Yeah, so his job is to look for the new opportunities down the line to make sure that Apple will remain relevant. So Tim Cook, Steve Jobs passed away, they passed it on to Tim Cook. Interesting fact, Tim Cook is the only billionaire that's not a founder of a tech company. He was just an employee. Okay, that's his share options. But the premise of this is how you start separating yourself from your business. Okay, you don't start drawing organograms saying I need a sales. You start with words like this and saying, if you're the doer, if you're the thinker and the doer and the finder and the hunter and the farmer and the organizer and the checker, sometimes you're going to burn out. So then you start looking at it when cash flow permits, which of those can you outsource? Because you can outsource your marketing. You can outsource the finding of it. You can outsource the hunting of it. You can get a telesales system involved where you pay per successful lead. This is how you start building organizational structures. So I thought it would be an interesting exercise to do.
So more importantly, who won?
Everybody's a winner.
Everybody's a winner. There is no right or wrong. Okay, it's how your brain processes it differently.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to show in your process flow, Johnny, just to think they all fall. Everybody, you both were right in how you did it. You just think about it differently. But there is a way that you need to think about it logically. You know, last time we spoke about the different types of hats that you wear. Okay.
Yeah.
And this is the data hat, the white hat. It's also the black hat, the doom and gloom hat comes in there. It's the yellow hat, the glass half full hat. All of those things come into play here because you're building an organization, all right? And it's no point in putting a round peg in a square hole, because how do you know that the people that you have, once you've decided who the farmers are and your farmer becomes your customer relationship person, all right? How do you know they're really good at that job? How do you know they haven't just transitioned into it? Okay. Point in case, you might have a very, very good hunter. Salesman, best salesman you've ever had. You know what you do? You make him the sales manager or the sales lead because you want him to manage the team. He's got no management experience. You know what happens to your sales? It tanks. So exercises like this are practical exercises that you can actually just do. You can write down those words, rank them, do them, but that's how you start building your organization. This is it's a 3-year journey. It's not a today journey. Because in today, it's all like Michael did is in the beginning, all hierarchical from top to bottom, because you do everything. But then you need to start moving it out. You need to bring people in. And that's when things start going wrong. And it's about identifying which one of those ones is the most crucial one to your business to hand out. So it's just a little bit of fun to see how you would do it. So when you look at your businesses, how does that look? Because if you're the thinker, you take the thinker away, the business should be able to sustain itself. The finder keeps on finding the opportunities. The hunter keeps on hunting them. The farmer keeps on farming them. Organizer, everything happens. The thinker just doesn't have to be there. Or you can put another thinker in over time.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I mean, you see it visibly in front of you.
Yeah. This is a visual exercise.
You start deep diving into that.
Which one of those ones do you think is the most important one?
I would say probably the finder or the farmer.
I think to any business, you must have a sales funnel. They're all important, but you must...
Which one is the most important? Michael's going with marketing, which is finding. You going with sales. They all have equal importance, but the analyst is one of the most important roles in your business, because numbers and facts and figures don't lie. So let me give you this. The finder can go find 5 opportunities, but if those 5 opportunities are rubbish, okay, there needs to be data that supports that opportunity. So you need to have data and say to the finder, these opportunities you found me is rubbish. Why are we even looking at them? Because if the finder finds rubbish opportunities, the hunter won't be able to close them.
But
I suppose if you look... So there you go.
Thanks, John. Took a breath. The finder, if there's no finding, then there's no analytics. So
which one is the most important one?
Definitely have to get the finder in. So we can
which one is the most important one?
They're actually all important.
That's the point. They're all of equal importance.
But you never said they were. I'm trying to trip you up here.
Absolutely, but the analyst...
It's your time to get it wrong, Wicus, okay?
The analyst drives the decision making behind the finder.
Yes.
So it's a full loop.
So it's a full loop. So when you look at yours, Johnny, that is probably a better way of looking at your organization as a process from step 1 through to step 5. But the analyst, he provides meaningful data. Organizer, are we doing the right things? Are we organizing? Are we working in the right areas? And the interesting thing is once you build that hierarchy, okay, so now you've gone from just these words and you've put in salesman, marketing executive, finance manager, then you need to start putting names to it. And it's interesting when you start putting names to it, what happens, because you need to make sure that the people that you have in those roles are able to deliver.
Because if they're not, you're always going to be involved in your business. You're never going to be able to take a step away.
Yeah. Another thing, I had an interesting conversation with a company yesterday who've had high staff turnover. So they were looking for a chat. So their culture has been driven by one of the long-standing employees, and that employee's basically taken control of that business. So the owners now actually have no clue about what processes, how the systems really work. And any staff coming in, as much as they might be enthusiastic at the start, are being squashed to the point of sitting in the car till a minute to go. And it's just this turnover because she's just looking to keep control of everything. And she's not really passing on all of this knowledge that should be passed on. And so it's interesting. So your staff, when you get your staff in, it's really key. And there's a fear there when you get someone so long-standing that you can't get rid of them. But actually, they have to either be retrained or
they have to be released.
Have to go, So they're now in a process of obviously being smart enough to realise the situation as it is. And then now they're going to have to go through quite a hard conversation and challenge to try and get that turned over now that is back to their culture being on show.
So that's a really, really interesting one when you have to reset a culture. Because how do you make it real? How do you change a culture?
It has to start at the top, It really has to start at the top. They need to take charge back of the business.
So what's the first thing they should do?
The first thing to do for me, as what I was saying, is they have to have a conversation with her, because she might not actually realise the harm that she's creating in the business. But if that challenge there, if that's going the wrong way, but the first thing I said is I have to start to document and get all the processes down so they understand them a bit better. So, because it's not even that, like you're talking about crisis management, in that situation, if she goes off sick or something happens, they're left really with no clue as to how their business runs.
It's a really interesting thing because people believe that when they're the only ones that know that they've created fiefdoms. But one of the first things they should do is they should write down what the culture stands for in that business. And I'm not talking about words like, if you say, and my views on honesty and integrity, there are two values that you can fake, they're implied. But what do you want your business to stand for? And what you do is you do attitude, behavior, and outcome. And that's the first thing you need to run it past your team, because it's a reset button. Say, this is what we want to be known for. Because currently we're known for this, we want to be known for this. And that's where you start that person will either adapt that culture or she won't. And if she doesn't adapt it, she needs to be released, because it'll be like a cancer to your business. Right. It'll run through your business. But you need to start setting your culture, because if it's not your culture, if it's not your values, if you're not driving it through your business, it is your employees' values. It is what they stand for. And it might be something that you're not really interested in. And that process is an interesting process, because it can be broken. And it's really interesting when you see smaller teams that go through situations like this, how it galvanizes the team, how it pulls everybody together, how they start living that, how they start nominating one another for that, how they go, oh, great job for that. It's really interesting to see when you get rid of one or two of those things, because you think your business is going to crumble, because that person has got all the knowledge. Yeah, you'll go through pain. You'll learn a lot. You'll make a lot of mistakes. But if you're transparent and you talk and you keep communication open, that becomes really, really interesting.
It needs to be done. It's exactly that, and that's the conversations we had about it all, really. It'll be interesting to see now. Because it's like you say, you think your business is going to really struggle and crumble because you've lost that key member, but you get another staff member in that's now not of that culture and is more in line with what your culture is. Suddenly, the sunshine.
I've told you the story before about the 8 monkeys that they put in a cage, and then they dangled the bananas, and then they sprayed the monkeys. So every time the monkeys ran for the bananas, they sprayed them. So after 2 days, the monkeys wouldn't go near the bananas. And then they took one of the monkeys out and they put a new one in. And every time he ran for the bananas, they pulled him back. And over time, they replaced the original 8 with 8 new monkeys, and they wouldn't go to the bananas. And that's exactly what we talk about here, is culture. You've always done it something. I've said to you before, our biggest risk in 25 and 26 is complacency. We always do the same thing. We talk about the same things, but we never actually do. We're scared to make change. And I'm the first one to tell you that everybody goes and goes, we thrive in change. Rubbish. Everybody's scared of change because you don't know what you don't. You know what you know. And if it's worked well, it's worked well. But there comes a time when it doesn't work well. And if you're not going to change, if you're not going to start changing now, it's small changes, you're going to get caught out, and that's going to be problematic.
I think it's also being an entrepreneur, a business owner, a leader, Well, if you use the monkey analogy, again, a different way of thinking here, there's lone rangers, there's lone wolves that go, no, I'm going to try that first. If I get hurt or if I get sore or whatever it may be, I want to know for myself. There's a small minority of people that will do that. They've got that way of thinking.
Yeah.
Like, back to your Simon Sinek, your 1% of the world innovators, Steve Jobs, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, all these guys willing to create new ideas, even though everybody else is just doing the same kind of thing. They think a different way. They're willing to put their neck on the line. So the question is, are you that person out there that's wanting to do something different? You want to, some people say don't reinvent the wheel. Well, I would say yes, reinvent the wheel sometimes. Create a different spin on it. Make it different, a different shape, different size.
What you're saying is the wheel stays round, but you change your mags.
No, I'm saying change everything.
You can't change the wheel is round.
No,
Aye.
it doesn't.
I get what you're trying to say, but
it doesn't always have to be round.
Well,
if
squares
it's going
really
in the water,
squares
it could be different. I'm telling you right now, it doesn't always have to be round.
Have you seen a square wheel?
No, but I'm talking about another analogy of this.
No,
yes,
I
a
get what
wheel's
you're saying,
round, but you could put rubber on it, it could be metal,
Yes.
it could be plastic, it could be, the forks could all be different sizes,
Yeah, so
different thicknesses. I'm just talking
So
about,
the framework stays the same, what you do on the inside changes.
but then, does it have to be circle when it's in the water? Does it have to be circle when it's on sand? Whatever it may be, different terrains, different landscapes. What I'm saying is just a different way of thinking. Because people go, reinvent the wheel. Well, no. Yes, I understand how the wheel works, but I'm talking about all the other stuff. It's an analogy that I'm trying to create. Because you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can reinvent. You can. You can do
there's loads
something
of things
completely
there
different.
that are status quo. You look at some things that.
So
I'm
you're
not
challenging the
mentioning.
status quo. So you're saying
of course I
don't
am.
just have a Michelin brand, have a Pirelli, have a Parenza, have a different brand of tire because they all do different things.
Why not?
Absolutely.
Why not? Why not?
I'm agreed.
If not you, then who? If it's not going to be you who drives that change, who do you expect to drive that change?
You look at. Just let's try and brainstorm just now. What things that I was chatting to somebody today, right? Somebody in the business. He's like, I want to do football tops, and I want to buy old football tops, and I want to tidy them up and rebrand them and whatnot. So he was looking and he was saying, "Oh, this. I think it was an old Arsenal shirt. It was like £73." I'm like, right. So what's somebody going to pay for that? Is the stitching? You're looking at somebody can do all the stitching as well for you. All right. And how much is it? I might buy a printer. You're not thinking about maybe just hiring that in. And so, say it's going to cost you £30 to fix the t-shirt. Is somebody going to pay £103 plus your profit margin, plus your packaging? All right. I mean, think about something outside the box. Like, what about baby grows? People that are investing in their football teams. Why not create a baby grow? A baby grow with a football team on it. They'll all buy them because I want to get them in their first. Yeah. There's loads of photos at that time. Baby grows for babies.
It's
not for
kid,
adults.
for small kid.
No,
baby girl.
baby.
No. Onesies.
Onesies. But it's got to be for a baby.
Yeah.
Because think how much money's in newborns. Like, you've got prams, you've got car seats, you've got bottles, you've got all of that. That's a whole category, and people want to buy something different than buying the wee, I don't know, fucking socks and everything.
I don't know.
The gloves they get for babies so they don't scratch themselves. Baby grows, but it's in the football team.
It's a different way of thinking, definitely, yeah.
But you have to think outside the box.
There's things out there though that are just the norm, and like I've got one that I designed something for, so I'm not going to say it, but it's been done this way for centuries, and it's just everybody just looks at it and thinks, well, that's how that's done. But actually, there's a better way to do that.
You're so right. I can't tell you how right you are. You know, things like when you buy a house, how long does it take you to buy a house to complete the transaction?
But it can take like 3 months, I'd say, is probably.
Why?
Because the solicitor's sitting it to the very last.
Yeah.
And then when they do pick it up, because the piles of paper are like this.
Yeah.
When they do pick it up, I need this, this, and this, and all of a sudden there's this mad rush at the end.
So would you agree that if we change that, so legal firms are starting to adopt AI, okay? And it is Scotland's legal system is different to the UK because ours is written law where common law principles apply in England and Wales. But AI is starting to do all the heavy lifting for these solicitors. So you pay for a lease, okay? Make no mistake that there's a lease that's been drafted 10 years ago, all right? And AI is coming, and eventually AI will be able to draft the same leases for you, and solicitors will just have to check it and file it. So their jobs are changing. And are they prepared to go up with those changes? Are they prepared to break that change and say, listen, I can get your home done for you in 2 weeks, in 3 weeks. Why should it take 6 to 8 weeks or 3 months? Why? Because we're not challenging. Even in our business, we're not challenging ourselves in a business saying, you know what, we've always done well, or this has always been a seasonal business. We're hiding behind excuses. We're hiding behind words. And it's difficult. It's hard. These are hard conversations to have with yourself, because these are conversations you have to have with yourself first before you can have them with your team.
But that's where it comes in, where you've got, like, what's setting you apart is the thing. If I'm a solicitor, I'm wanting to do it in 2 weeks. Imagine the turnover you could get instead.
Imagine how many people will come to you because it sets you apart.
Yep.
Well, that's it. So you've got to try and find it. This is maybe a different topic altogether, but it's when you're looking at yourself. I heard a really good quote. Can't remember who the guy is on YouTube, but he says, imagine your life's a movie. Just imagine it, and what's everybody saying at the TV screen to you? You know, there's the bad man there, you shouldn't have went in there, you shouldn't be doing that, or you should be doing that breakup, or you should be getting that, you shouldn't be spending your money there. Well, why did you speak like that to that person? You know, imagine your life's a movie, and what is people watching, and what are you doing in that movie? And it was really interesting. It was quite a deep dive into yourself. Where am I going? What am I doing? And as much as you've got your shit together to a point, there's always that element of doubt or concern, or where am I going? What do I want to achieve? What is it? I just thought it was really, really a good point to make.
Fair
Your
enough.
life's a movie.
It's profound because you do. People live behind masks. You don't see the true real person. Everybody adapts their personality. You know, it's interesting when you recruit somebody, you do some personality tests. It's really, really interesting because what the tests do is they show your natural self, and then they show how you change your behavior to facilitate in a work environment. So it doesn't matter which one of those ones you do. It's really, really interesting to see that. So you do change the way you in front of people. You do. Anybody who says they don't believe that really.
Would you thank someone for their honesty in an interview?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I think it's for me in interviews is when you go into an interview, people I ask different questions. Okay, so I actually interview. I don't have to sell a job. I want to understand who's sitting across the table from me, and I always give them an opportunity to give me some honest feedback. How did you find the process? And then I always come back and they go, your questions are a little bit off the wall. And I go, what do you mean by that? And they go, it's just not something we're exposed to, and it makes us uncomfortable. And I go, thank you for the honest feedback. It's not designed to make you uncomfortable, but it's designed to make you think in a different way. Honesty is that thing, is transparency and honesty. You have to be honest, even if you don't like it, but it's how you convey that, okay? Very often we think honesty, you don't have to be rude to be honest. You can just have a direct conversation and say, listen, this is how I perceive it. And you're also entitled to it because it is your opinion, it's your perception.
But it's what you've grown up with. Everybody has. So then you go.
On the letting side, it's exactly that scenario. If you've got someone that comes in and is honest with you about an issue they've been having or whatever credit, as long as they've been honest with you, that's, you know, that puts a foot forward for them, because we can then have conversations with landlords because they've been upfront. Whereas if they don't say anything and go forward and credit checks come through and you find all these issues, then it's a backward step for them. You know, you won't go forward with something like that because they've been dishonest with you at the start.
So also, for your side of things with the letting agency, there'll be a lot of people desperate for you to,
and that's the thing.
For you,
so,
they'll be desperate to get a place from you, and there'll be other guys that are desperate for you to manage their property. And I think people they don't realise the importance of being honest. Honesty can really, really best serve you.
You need to be open. You need to feel comfortable to share things like that, even if it makes you unpopular. Because you're unpopular, because honesty in today's term has become unpopular. You know, honest views have become unpopular. It has become unpopular. I'll say that honest views, things like values and norms, they're unpopular conversations because we make exceptions the norm.
I always said to my daughter, my son, in the earlier years, and they're like, "Oh, our family, you know, when you can have your wee bickering moments and stuff like that," and they're just like, "This is terrible. This is terrible." Like, every family is the same. It's like when you invite people around to your house, your wife, or your partners want to clean the house up and get everything cleaned. They went, relax. They've just left their shit tip to come to ours. And it's just all nonsense. Just relax. Oh, you clean dust the banister and like, why?
Yeah.
Just relax. Relax. Nobody's going round your house trying to clean. And you see if they are, fuck them. They're no your friend. Well, it's honestly, but we all have these conversations. We all have them.
Absolutely.
Everybody really does the same things, but we hide the same things. It's quite interesting.
It is interesting, human psyche. Very, very interesting when you start looking into delving deeper and looking at it.
But hopefully that was helpful for people.
Yeah, I think we'll keep all that for the next episode.
This is your world.
Shape it.
Or someone else will.